our main water pressure. So this will connect into the system through that ball valve that I showed last week, and then up into the bathroom. So for the most part, the plumbing is now finished. The green pipework that you can just about see all works as intended. There are a couple of leaks, which is pretty annoying. I'm planning on fixing those leaks either today or tomorrow. The whole process was pretty frustrating. Cutting the pipework to size, fusing it together, then realising that you cut it a bit too short or a bit too long. That happened quite a lot. There are places where it looks like a bit of a disaster in my opinion, and then there are other places which I think look quite good. This is the first time I've done any plumbing on this sort of scale and to a house. The only plumbing that I've done before has been to a camper van, but I've learnt a lot in the process, and hopefully when I do this again I will do it far more neatly and hopefully have less leaks at the end. Next job is to fix this securely to the post. I would temporarily use cable ties, but we don't have any long enough. You can daisy chain cable ties, so maybe that's what I'll do. If you do. Cool. So now that I've rerouted the water pipe system, this is now redundant, this pipe. So what I'm going to do today is finally sever the connection to this pipe. The mains connection goes directly into the room below the bathroom. Another reason to take this off is because we are eventually going to be externally insulating, and we need to remove all of the bits and bobs that stick out from the wall. There are a few brackets which I'll have to use the angle grinder on at quite a height, so I'm not really looking forward to those, but hopefully it won't be too bad. So we are inside the building now, on the other side of the wall that I was just removing the pipe on, in what was the old kitchen. And this is about the time when my microphone stopped working and I didn't realise, so I am talking you through basically what I'm saying now. This sink unit in the corner was here when we arrived, and as it was already plumbed into the system, we used it pretty much only for hot water from the boiler. We didn't actually use this room that much. I'd put hot water into a washing up bowl and then do the dishes back in the temporary kitchen area. But now that we've set up the sink in there, this is no longer in use at all, and it's about time we got rid of it. With the old kitchen unit removed and a bit of a clean up, this is what the room now looks like. The old cooking hood is still there and we are planning on removing that, as soon as possible, and then properly decorating this room. So I'm down in the ground floor room. I haven't managed to keep it tidy, and I haven't managed to put the tools back on the wall, but I am trying to do better. As I mentioned previously, I'm 3D printing these brackets. This is the latest iteration. I think this is probably the 11th model that I've printed. The plan today is to fit these to one of the window openings and build a dummy shutter to put up there and just test out how it will work. So this is the final bracket design, or at least the latest version. The section here will be fixed into the wall with 4 heavy-duty screws, and on the hinge here that will be attached to a timber shutter. So the bracket's now in place. The camera overheated, so I missed the final stages, but you can see it in place. The next job is to put another one above, do exactly the same thing, and then create some sort of dummy shutter out of timber, and then attach the hinges to that, and then hang it and test it out. But the sun is creeping round now, and it's a little bit too hot to work on the next bracket, so I'll probably do that later today. As it's too hot on this side of the house, I'm going to go over to the northern side and do something else. Looking good. I'm going to put together a dummy shutter. I'm going in a little bit blind because it's too hot to be outside measuring things. I'm going to put the top hinge on this piece of timber and then place that on the bracket, and then measure where the next hinge needs to be, fix that to the piece of timber, and then cut off the excess at the top and the excess at the bottom, and then I should be able to build a dummy shutter from that. So stapling bits of timber together like this is probably not a very professional way of doing it. But as a sort of quick temporary fix, just to see if it works, I'm happy enough with that. Okay, so the dummy shutter is up and it's moving like a shutter should. I'm just going to move the ladder out of the way. So this fake shutter, or this test shutter, is in place and it works pretty well, works as planned. The staples haven't held up that well. I will be screwing these in and measuring to make sure there are no clashes with windowsills or anything like that. But at the moment, I'm pretty happy with that. This week's sponsor is Tenways, and they very kindly sent me their top of the range bike, the AGO X. Inside this box is an electric bike that claims to be an e-bike SUV. So what I'm going to do is open it up, assemble it, and then later today take it for a ride. So while I take the bike out of its box and start to assemble it, let me tell you a bit about the bike itself and the company behind it. Tenways is a group of cycle enthusiasts and experts in the bike trade who are obsessed with building a greener and more sustainable world together through a community of e-bikers. They are based in the Netherlands and currently offer 5 e-bike models. As I mentioned, they sent me the AGO X in midnight black, which can handle both urban and off-road rides. The bike itself is very well packaged, and true to Tenways' green credentials, the packaging is made from over 85% recyclable and eco-friendly materials. All of the tools needed to assemble the bike are included, and the instruction booklet is very easy to follow. Right, all assembled and ready to go. Time for a test drive. Just going to drive it around the local area. There's one particular hill that is really steep and it's a challenge walking up. I'm also going to turn on the app so it'll record all my ride data. Let's see how it goes. So at the moment I'm riding on a flat / downhill. So I've got the assistance setting to 0. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn the assistance on, turn it on to 5, and just see how it helps me up this little slope. So straight away I can move away with minimal effort, and I mean this is just so easy gliding up this hill. This one's not that steep, but we'll get to one that is really steep. Screen, this shows you the speed, the current charge, the time and the amount of assistance that you have. There are 5 settings, 1 to 5, which you adjust using these buttons over here on the left hand side. On the right you've got the bell and the gears, so there's 2 shifters up and down here to help you change gear. When you're riding, you can hear the sort of whirring of the electric motor giving you assistance, and that will assist you up to 25 kilometers an hour. And that's the sort of max assisted speed. You can obviously cycle faster just using the pedals, but over 25 kilometers an hour, the motor will stop. So I've just cycled down possibly the steepest slope or the steepest road in this area. What I'm going to try and do is cycle up as far as I can using no assistance, and then try that again, but cycling up it with assistance. I'm not sure of the gradient, but it's really steep. Just coming down, you pick up so much speed. So this will be a real test for the bike, and hopefully I'll manage to get up there okay. Oh, struggling. Oh. So that was only just the start of the slope up, and that was pretty tough. But it can be done. I'm not sure if I went down to, up to the highest gear, but now I'm going to try with level 5 assistance, and hopefully it'll be a lot easier. Piece of cake. Overall, I'm very impressed with the AGO-X, and I'm genuinely struggling to find any negative things to say about it. But there is one thing that seems like an odd choice to me. The paint used on the bike has a matte finish, and matte paint tends to show marks and scuffs far more readily than gloss paint. It seems like a strange choice considering this bike is marketed as an off-roader that will inevitably get dirty and marked. Before heading home, I tested the bike on a loose gravel and dirt track and a steep cobbled path to test out the bike's suspension, handling and power. So if you are looking for an e-bike, I would strongly consider Tenways, and if you want something that performs on and off-road, the AGO-X is a great option. Now you want to play. Come on.